Hi there, vinyl community. It's Gary here at Vinyl Kick, and today, as I'm sure you all know, is Record Store Day 2023. Now, I know Record Store Day isn't for everybody, and it's certainly getting more expensive as the years go on. But I quite like it, I must admit, I do. I quite like the buzz that goes with it, you know. I quite like queuing up to get into the record store and talking to people that are in the queue and, discussing what they're going to buy, what they're hoping to get, hoping that you've got that bit of excitement as well, where you're hoping that they still have enough left, or enough copies left of the albums that you're looking for, or the vinyl that you're looking for. But I do get that it's maybe not for everybody, and as I did touch on just a minute ago, certainly the prices are starting to creep up. I noticed that when I was looking through the catalogue of the list, the RSD list for this year. I did notice the prices, even single albums, especially stuff that's maybe more like sort of demos or outtakes, or maybe sort of stranger or unique cuts of certain tracks as well. They're not actual specific albums, so maybe you're not getting the best quality with that, or not the best produced, and them as well. Albums like that as well were still very expensive. But I've always enjoyed it. I've been going. This is my 11th. Obviously, COVID had an impact. You couldn't, obviously, nobody could go then. Yeah, there was no such a thing. It was kibosh for a little while. But this is my 11th, 10th maybe, 10th, or I don't know, maybe my 10th, maybe it's just my testimonial year. I think maybe it is actually the 10th, I think I counted that wrong. But anyway, I like it. And I was up this morning, I went up to where we've been for the last, myself and my friend Alan, who's my vinyl buddy. We would go to a record shop called Some Great Reward, which is in the south side of Glasgow. It's on Pollokshaws Road, just through the top side of Shawlands, in the south side of Glasgow, and we've been there the last 3 or 4 years. I think we've been there. Before, there used to be a local shop in the town next to my town, the next town down going south, and there was a record shop there called Big Sparrow Vinyl, and that's where we went, all the years before that, until unfortunately the chap that ran it passed away and the shop closed. So again, it was an early start this morning. I'm sorry if I look a bit dishevelled. I've been up since 5 o'clock, was up early. His doors opened at 8, and I was up there for maybe 6:30, get parked no problem, which was a bonus. 2-minute walk for the shop, and in we went, and I got everything on my list. So I've got that to show you. I'll show you that in a minute. Plus I've got a Brucey bonus. I've got one. This was an impulse buy. I've got one other item that I'm going to actually open for you, and show you that as well. So without further ado, I'll crack on with what I bought today. So here we go, there's the bag there. Some Great Reward, Record Cafe, and as you can see, it's in Pollokshaws Road, 674 I believe. Right, from the top, Maestro. Big ticket item, and again, I put this on my list before, and this was just my ignorance. I really should have checked, because I knew anything to do with Bowie's never cheap, and I'd put this on my list without checking the price. But then I thought, you know what, it's on my list now, I'm just going to buy it anyway. And this was the 5 7-inch box set, Laughing with Lisa. Got a 70 quid for this. Whether you think it's worth it or whether you don't, it's entirely up to you. I bought it anyway, and it's just 5 7-inch singles from his early career. I think it starts in 1964 up to 1966, I think, 66, 67 or something. I haven't actually read the back of it properly, but it's a nice box set. I mean, everything you get with Bowie with this sort of stuff, it'll be well packaged. You've got, the first single's Lisa Jane, single 2's Rubber Band, third single's A Laughing Gnome, fourth Love You Till Tuesday, and then you've got David Bowie with Hutch Hutchison and his version of Space Oddity, with the Laughing Gnome in the B-side actually of that one. And that was the Space Oddity version, is a TV and film version of it, which I don't think I've heard before, so that'll be interesting. So that was my first, well, it was the first thing in my list. As I've said before, I collect Bowie and I collect Clash records, but Bowie's out every year in Record Store Day, not so much the Clash at all, actually, if ever. So we went for that. Yeah, big ticket item, but it's bought now. I've paid for it. The money's good and gone, and happy with that. He didn't have a lot of these actually. We still speak to the chap in the shop, and I think he only 3 or 4 of these. So I was delighted to get that, because probably if you're going online, it'll be, I don't know, it'll be 70 quid, it'll be over 100 quid, I don't know, possibly for it now anyway online, as these things tend to go. So that was first in my list. It was the Bowie box set, record store, the 5/7" singles. Now, it's the wee flyer. Nearly Yard Act with Elton John, and it's 100% endurance in one side of the 7" and Tiny Dancer, Yard Act's version of Tiny Dancer, and the other side. This is in yellow vinyl. I think you can maybe see it just peeking out there. It's yellow vinyl. You always like Yard Act from the first time I heard them. I added this onto my list when I realised that he wasn't going to stock one of the things I actually did want originally. So this was a substitute for something that I did want, but I picked it up anyway. It'll be everything I said Yard Act do is excellent, and you know, and Elton John will bring an element of professionalism to it as well. So that was only a tenner, but again, maybe a 7" single, I don't know, but it was 10 quid for that. I didn't think that was too bad. Quite happy to pay that for that. And we'll give that a whirl later on, and we'll see what it's like. It looks like kind of darker colour, more kind of mustard coloured yellow. We'll find out when we open it up. So that was that Yard Act with Elton John. Here's a wee look at the back of it there. Second thing I bought, sticking with the singles, the Happy Mondays, Balearics Beats. This was on my list, and it was off my list, and it was back on the list. So yeah, I just went for it. The thing about the chap at Some Great Reward, he does a loyalty scheme. So for every 10 albums you buy, you get a record up to the value of 25 quid free. So my ticket was full, so I just went back in and purchased this. I'll just pick this up. Happy Mondays I do like. Wouldn't say one of my favourite bands, but this could be quite interesting. Some of the tracks, but Bob's Your Uncle track that I do like. Kinky Afro's a great track as well. So we'll have a listen to that. I think it's just pressed in black vinyl by the look of it, and it's on the London label. And it looks a lovely clean. It looks lovely and clean actually. So I like the cover. It's well done. Unfortunately, I think this sticker here is on the cellophane, which is a bit annoying. So we'll have to try and preserve that somehow. I'm sure I'll manage. So yeah, Happy Mondays, Balearic Beats, little impulse buy at the end, because I knew as well I'd collected enough loyalty points to get a freebie, and this was the freebie. Number 3, Happy Mondays, Balearic Beats. Moving on to the albums now. Susie and the Banshees, Dream House. What an absolute cracking album, and I must admit the re-releases of the Susie stuff, they've all been absolutely phenomenal. I've got a couple of the HMV ones, HMV exclusives, and the quality of them is really good. They do them well, they do the reissues really well. Susie, the label that put them out, do them absolutely fantastically. They really do. This is in clear and gold marbled vinyl. I'm not sure what label it's on, but this, I think this is Dream House. I think this might be the one with Slow Dive on it. I think this might be it's my favourite Susie album. Or is it Juju? It's hard to say. It's either this or Juju. My favourite Susie albums. When I was younger, I had a lot of Susie stuff, and I sold it. So I've been trying to, I've been buying it again and trying to build up my Susie collection. But this is a cracking album, Dream House, and as usual with Susie, I'm sure the production of this and the quality of this vinyl will be fantastic. All the other stuff has been with the Susie reissues, so here's hoping. Haven't opened any of these yet, so we'll get a listen later on this afternoon. I've got a couple of things to do, then I'm going to have a listen to them. So $27.99 for this boy. I'm really looking forward to listening to it. I'm intrigued by the clear and gold marbled vinyl. I've seen a picture of it, but I don't think the picture maybe done it enough justice, so we'll have a wee look at it later. At the back of it there. There you go, you've got Cascade, Green Fingers, Obsession, She's a Carnival, Circle, Melt, Painted Bird, Cocoon, and Slow Dive. Slow Dive's probably the biggest of the tracks there, or the most common one, or the one most people have heard of. It's a lovely cover. I love the artwork in this album as well. I do indeed. So we'll see what it's like, the clear and gold covered marbled swill vinyl 40th anniversary edition. delighted I got this album. Again, he had quite a lot of these, and another friend of mine, didn't turn up to 10 o'clock when the queue had gone. It was just a couple of people browsing, and he still had one of these left, and he bought the last one. And I knew quite a few people in the queue were looking for it, so I hope they all got it. Everybody was looking for it got it, because it's an album worth having. If you haven't got it or listened to it, you stream it, give it a shot, give it a listen to. It's really good. I'm sure you'll be impressed by it. And I get Susie stuff's quite collectible these days. I've noticed that. Even the original were first pressings of their albums, the 70s and 80s pressings, they go for decent money. Well, they can do anyway. So that was a good buy. I'm really glad I got that. Susie and the Banshees Dreamhouse. Like it indeed. Now, this for our American friends, you'll probably not have a clue what this is. And maybe it's better you don't have a clue what it is. It's the man himself, Mr. Ben, the music. Mr. Ben was a character that went into a clothes shop, and when he went to try something on the dressing room, when he came back out, he actually went out into some sort of adventure in another world, whether he was a knight in shining armour, or whether he was an Arabian knight in a flying carpet, or whether he was a caveman fighting dinosaurs. It didn't matter, it was Mr. Ben. He always had an adventure. And that's a little man that owned the shop there with his fez on. That was the shop owner. And basically this is just the musical score from the Mr. Ben series. As it says there, all the music for the original TV series. It started in 1971, and it was ran over sort of intermittently for the next 30 years. They only made a few episodes of it, and there was one episode that they just found not that long ago that had been lost, a lost episode, as they seem to do with these things. But if you can see the track list there, I mean, they're only lasting 35 seconds, a minute 47. So your first album runs for 13:46, your second album runs for 1914, year I was born. So you've got and it's just basically the themes from the adventures that Mr. Ben had. Cowboy theme, he's been a cowboy there, he's been in the circus there, he's shanty there, so he's always playing a sailor or a pirate or something. Panther, possibly in the jungle, Roman Empire, gladiator, prison. So this is all the adventures he had. He would come out the tailor's dressing room into another world dressed as one of these characters, and he would go on to have an amazing adventure. And then he would get back in, and the little man would appear at the end of the cartoon, and Mr. Ben would get back into the changing room, and he'd walk back out into Surrey Street and return home to his house, which was on this street here. So it was. So Mr. Ben, and this was very popular. Probably lots of guys' match. I've seen he didn't have a lot of these, but they all went. My friend bought it, and other people in the queue I knew, and guys similar as myself, and that's what they were looking for. And it's just a bit of nostalgia. Halcyon days when you were a kid, and Mr. Ben was certainly possibly my favourite cartoon. I'd have to say it was. Maybe Captain Pugwash, I don't know. That's it, but certainly Mr. Ben, absolutely fantastic. This I think is maybe, I'm not sure if this is a picture disc. I think it might be, I'm not actually sure if it is. But yeah, side one, side two, I said, short running times, music from the series. Again, bit of nostalgia. I was always going to buy this. It was on my list for the off, and I'm glad I bought it. So, $28.99, worth that for me. That's worth it all day long just to have this. I would probably pay a bit more for it, to be perfectly honest. So that's the man there himself, Mr. Ben, with his trumpet, giving you a blast of his trumpet. And this was the street he lived in, and these are all the people who lived in the street. But yeah, to live Mr. Ben's life would have been quite exciting if you go and try a new jumper on or a new pair of trousers, and you get into the changing room and you come back out, you're in ancient Rome or the jungle or something, you dressed appropriately, you're wrestling about with an alligator or whatever. So excellent. Mr. Ben, the music, single album. I reckon it is a picture disc, and it's basically just the music score to the cartoons, which probably only lasted 5 minutes at a time, I thought. There we go. Last and by no means least, and this is a brand new one for me, was Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. I've never ever owned a Black Sabbath record. I know Paranoid, probably most people do. I'm familiar with that, it's a great song. I don't own any metal at all, or any music of that genre, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a try and see what it's like. I liked the fact it was in a sort of splattered colour vinyl as well, and this was their 8th album. Transparent and light blue splatter vinyl. So I actually like the cover as well. I think the cover's quite cool. The pilots there before they get into their jet fighter. So I've no idea what this album's going to be like. I don't know any of the tracks on it. I'll give it a listen to. Their 8th studio album. I don't know how many studio albums they've done, but it's a really cool cover. I like that. I really do. So yeah, we'll give this a listen to. This was $30.99. Again, I didn't quite realise the price of that when I put it in my list. But this, they didn't have. I was actually wanting the Adverts album that was out for Record Store Day. They didn't have it, so I substituted this in for the Adverts. The Adverts were taken off. They get injured in the warm up, and Black Sabbath gets strapped and come on for them. So that's what we went for there. We went for a bit of Black Sabbath. I'll give it a listen to, and I'm sure I'll like it. The small amount of stuff I have heard, I thought it's been good. I think Paranoid's a great single, and a couple of other things I've heard very, very good. So my first metal album at age 55. We'll see what it's like. We'll give it a whirl. The vinyl looks really cool, and I'm maybe actually listen to this one first this afternoon before I do any of the others. I would suggest I'll do that anyway. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purchases today at Record Store Day. That's about my average. I don't think I've bought any more than that. Last year I only bought 3, and this year I've went for the 6. Probably spent a wee bit more than usual thanks to the Bowie being 70 quid. But you know, you work hard all year, you've got to spend your dosh in something, so why not? So we'll give this a listen to later on, and then I'll give the Susie album a listen to, and we'll take it for there and see what's what. I'm excited to do that. So that was my Record Store Day purchases, and now this is the Brucey bonus for today. This, again, was a bit of an impulse buy, so it was, and it was from the singer, and I've totally forgot his name. I'll open it here. This came from France, import from France, and there's a band, Guana Death Cult, and it's one of their members, and I forgot his name, put out this single, but he's under the guise of the Parisian Night Suite. And it just come up in my playlist on Spotify. I was listening to Hamish Hawk, and for some reason this song come on. The Hamish Hawk album finished, and this song come on, and I absolutely loved it. I was intrigued by it, and so I checked what it was, and it was this Parisian Night Suite. And I had a wee look for them, and this is their first bit of vinyl. I think they might have put something else out this week, but this was their first bit of vinyl that they put out. So I thought, you know, that's great. I done a wee search, so I noticed they didn't have much, and I was on their Bandcamp page. I noticed that they were doing a very limited edition 7-inch, and it was just on that morning, and so there's only 50 of these, and it comes straight from the band themselves, and I think I'm not sure what number I got, but there was only about 4 left when I went on. I was just lucky. That was just pure luck that I was on their website that morning. When I went to buy it, it linked me to Bandcamp, and I bought it off Bandcamp. And this was really quick. I only done this on Tuesday, and it's came all the way from France, and it's here today, Saturday. So that's a good turnaround, a really good lead time. So I'm happy with that. So we'll have a wee look at it. I'll open it up. It's well packaged. Here we go. And that's the record label. I don't know if you can see that. 6 tons. It's silver, it's catching in the light. So it is 6 tons de Mercedes, I think you pronounce that. It's the record label it's on. They're sent me a little sticker layer with it, which is nice of them. That's and this is the Parisian Night Suite. There we go, very plain, not a lot to it. Number 21 of 50. Parisian Night Suite, droplets. And it's on the 6 tons, the Chair Records. And that's just 6 tons, that's his, I don't know why that's maybe even the French saying 6 tons, thank you. I'm not sure, I think that's a wee thank you from 6 tons Records. Plain white black label, and there you go. Not much to it, but for only 50 of these, I'm absolutely delighted I've got that. I don't have, well, I do have one record that's been produced less than 50, and that's a Clash record that I'll do a Clash video in a few days' time, and I'll show you this one. Anyway, so there we go. This was my I bought this. This was a sort of impulse buy, and it's Droplets by Prizzy and Night Sweet. This is a single they've got out now. They do have a normal 7-inch of this. I think it's in blue vinyl too, which you can get for just a normal price. But this was the first release. I thought I'm going to have that for 1 of 50. It comes numbered, hand numbered. So yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to that. The guy's got a great voice. He certainly does indeed. And he said he was in, or he still is in, Iguana Death Cult, and I've totally forgot the guy's name. So I have. But anyway, yeah, so that was my impulse buy. That was on Tuesday morning, and picked this up Tuesday, and lo and behold, I wasn't expecting it today actually, and it's came today. So this week's vinyl has been quite a lot. Spent quite a lot of money. I need to, you know, I'm sure the wife will have something to say about that, but you know, it's done now. The money's spent, it's gone, it's good and gone. There's nothing much you can do about it, but I'm happy with everything I've bought. I'm more than happy with everything I've bought. Record Store Day, that's it. I don't know if Black Friday's so big over here in Scotland. Some of the shops do it, some don't, but it's more Record Store Day in April. So that's it for another year. I have not exceeded my budget. I come back with some cash in my pocket. I come back with about 25 quid. So we're delighted with that as well. And that included me having breakfast when I was out. So all in all, a good day. So that is my Record Store Day haul for this year. I'll be back on with some more videos in the very near future. But until then, vinyl community, as always, stay free.